Hey, what's happening? It's Ohio Real Estate in sunny, amazing Flagstaff, Arizona on vacation. But I thought it was important to get with you guys and update you on the latest Redfin housing data. Even though I'm on vacation, it made sense to, again, connect and keep everybody informed because, as we all know, real estate does not sleep, right? But yeah, if you have not had a chance to get out to Flagstaff, Arizona, this is the first time I've been here. It's amazing area and certainly just ridiculous weather. So it's a certainly a great little vacation for myself and the family. And anyway, let's get started on the Redfin update. So not a lot has changed regarding pricing. The prices have continued to go up, and they have hit a new record according to Redfin, right under $400,000. But there are some other changes in the housing market that are important to talk about. And that's what we're going to hit on today. Some of their leading indicators are showing that houses, in certain markets are sitting a lot longer than they did last year. So days on market is up, and it's taking longer to sell houses, and houses in general are selling for under the asking price, which hasn't happened in several years. So there are bargains out there in certain markets as the houses sit longer, and the ones that need work. So anything that needs renovated with windows and roofs and foundations, and probably doesn't pass FHA, VA, or USDA loans, those will probably sit longer. And a lot of that reason is because people don't have the cash readily available as much as they did over the last few years to do those renovations. When money was cheap, 3%, it was easy to pick up a house, under market value that maybe needed renovation, and then, or even at market value, and then put money into it to realize the equity gain. But now with money, it's 7, 8, 9, 10%, depending on where you're borrowing it from. It's certainly a lot harder to do that, especially even for smaller investors. But that's what we're seeing. So definitely some shifts in the housing market, no doubt. All right, let me share my screen. All right, and want to make sure my audio is good. Yeah, audio is great. All right, so this article is titled "Home Prices Hit New High, but Buyers Gain Power as Stale Listings Pile Up and Price Drops Become More Common." Again, the sorry about that. It's going to be noisy. All right, so I'll go through some of this article. So yeah, houses are piling up because new listings are increasing, active listings are increasing, and days on market's increasing. So housing costs could come down in the coming months. And I highlighted this part as mortgage rates are coming down a bit, and there are signs price growth could slow. I'm not sure why they said that. If mortgage rates come down, I think prices will accelerate because there'll be more people out there buying houses and less inventory. And it's not like we have a ton of inventory. We have some growth, but it's not like we have so much inventory the market's crashing. Then I highlighted this part. Pending sales post their biggest decline since the beginning of March. Pending home sales fell 3.8%, the biggest year-over-year decline in nearly 4 months. During the 4 weeks ending June 16th. So pending sales, they've definitely dropped the number of people actually purchasing homes. And if you're a real estate agent in the business, it's extremely difficult right now with the number of sales. Lucky for me, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Pending sales are actually up there because the houses are still affordable, and there's still a lot of people buying because demand in Columbus is ridiculous. A lot of it has to do with Intel and some of the economic development we're experiencing. But no doubt, it also goes on to say that buyers are backing off largely because housing costs are so high. No doubt, right? Housing costs are high, buyers are backing off. The irony of near record housing costs, they're causing buyers to back off, and enough have backed off to give some buyers who remain more negotiating power for certain homes. These dogs aren't going to stop. They were all quiet like hours before this live. Now they don't like what I'm saying, I guess. But that's Airbnbs for you. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got people not buying, but because people have backed off, there are opportunities if you're willing to go hunt for a deal and certainly buy something that needs work, buy something that's not move-in ready, then there are opportunities. The share of sellers dropping their list price is at the highest level since November 2022. So sellers in general are dropping their list price more than ever. And that certainly, price cuts is an indication that sellers are willing to deal. Now, understand a lot of these cuts, a lot of the dead inventory are homes that are well over the median price. And they're also probably not move-in ready. So the people that are dropping their prices, the sellers, are probably doing so because they can't sell it in a normal market. They go on to say another reason for the decline in pending sales is the lack of new desirable listings for buyers to choose from. New listings are up 7.7% year over year, but they're sitting well below typical levels for this time of year. The only time on record listings in June listings have been lower was in 2023. So new listings, 7.7% up year over year, but not a ton of new listings. It's not like an explosion of new listings. Why? Because a lot of people are like, I can afford to sell. It's not about not being able to afford to sell. It's about not being able to afford to buy the next house. That's their problem. And I don't know about you. If you own a house, comment below and tell me if this is true. Are you in the position, if you own a house or you know somebody who does, are they in the position right now to pay current interest rates at their current home value? Many people aren't. Many people are like, there's no way I can afford to rebuy my house. Because of that, that's a good indicator that they're not going to sell their current house because they can't buy something else. Maybe they're downsizing, they can afford it. People are sometimes forced to sell, but in general, people are staying put. They just are. It goes on to say, there's an actual comment from a Redfin agent, and I thought this was interesting because it was Detroit, not the West Coast, for the first time. A few years ago, I never would have told a seller that they need to freshen up their paint, fix their furnace, and make sure their roof is up to date before putting their home on the market. But now I tell them to make sure the house is pretty as possible and buyers are still out there and willing to pay today's high prices, but only if the house is in really good shape. They don't want to spend extra money on paint or new appliances. So if you're looking for an opportunity, and if you're looking for a sale, I would look at houses that need work. I'd look at houses that need renovating and need some sweat equity, because a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They're too lazy. They want instant gratification. They want a house that is move-in ready. But barring some cataclysmic shift in my financial life, I would never, ever, ever buy a house now that's move-in ready. It just wouldn't happen. Not a house that, I'm going to live in, certainly. Maybe an investment property, depending on what the deal looks like. But I'd never buy a house right now that is move-in ready. I would go out and find something that was destroyed in a neighborhood I like, and I'd put my money into it to make the equity, to give me enough equity that the deal makes sense. And you can do that when you put money into the property. I'm amazed how many buyers are unwilling to do that. So comment below if you're willing to do that, or is that something that you would do? Would you buy a house and put money into it with windows, roof, paint, flooring, bathrooms, kitchens, plumbing, electric, foundation work, that type of stuff? If you are, great. But I would definitely encourage you to do that. All right. Let's go to the leading indicators now. All right. So the daily average fixed mortgage rate. Excuse me, got some of my teeth. Daily average fixed mortgage rate is 7%. We know that's high, right? They checked yesterday, Mortgage News Daily, it was like 7.01%. Mortgage purchase applications increased 2% from a week earlier, but down 12% from year over year. They're still suppressed compared to last year. That's obvious. Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index down 5% from a month earlier, down 17% year over year. Touring activity, how many people are actually out looking at homes? That's up 19% from the start of the year. At this time last year, it was also up 19%. This is the first time I've seen this indicator say basically we're flat year over year with touring activity. And unchanged from a month earlier is the Google searches for homes, down 21% year over year. People aren't looking at homes online as much, no doubt. All right, median sale price, $396,000, up 4.8%, all-time high, biggest increase since March. Median asking price, $411,000, up 5.5% year over year. Median monthly mortgage payment, $2,781, up about 7%. I'm sorry, up 7.8% year over year. Basically, it's at the all-time high, $58 under the all-time high for mortgage payments. Pending sales, 86,000 units, down 3.8%. Look at the delta, 86,000 compared to new listings at 98,000. You're down, you look at that spread, you're at 12,000 units, meaning you're adding 12,000 units to the marketplace, but you're not taking those off. So those become active listings that stick, right? And that's why active listings continue to grow. 942,000 units, 16.5% growth year over year for active houses. However, and nobody has beat me on this challenge, I want somebody to tell me, are you seeing affordable houses in your area sit? And they're, affordable houses in good areas that are move-in ready. Are you seeing that? So if your median is, if your average house in your area, the typical house is 500 grand. Are you seeing houses that are 350,000, 400 grand, move-in ready in great neighborhoods sitting on the market? My guess is no, you're not, because somebody would buy those if they were move-in ready, versus the great financial crisis where even houses that were move-in ready weren't selling. So vastly different. And I hear very few people talking about this, that they say, hey, new listings are up, inventory is exploding, look at months of supply. Our time's coming, our time is coming to buy. But the time's here. Like, it's always been here. You just have to hunt for the deal. But I mean, new active listings being up 900 to 942,000 units. If those are all houses nobody wants, it's kind of like wasted inventory, in my opinion. Months of supply, 3.2 months of supply. That hasn't really moved at all that much. I mean, that's kind of just stayed flat almost. Share of homes off the market in 2 weeks, 42%, down from 47%. So that's huge, right? You've got a larger share of homes sitting longer on the market. Remember, as we add homes that nobody wants or are too expensive, that number will increase, right? That spread will increase. So you'll start to have lower amounts of homes flying off the market quicker. Median days on market, 31 days. That's up 3 days. So homes are sitting longer. Again, more expensive, less desirable homes on the market, not move-in ready, not first-time home buyer homes. They are more expensive homes, usually. At least that's in Columbus. Share of homes sold above list price, 32%, down from 36%. So homes aren't, people aren't overpaying for homes as much as they used to over the last few years. Share of homes with the price drop, 6.6%. Average sale to list price ratio, 99.7%. Basically, sellers are essentially getting what they're asking for houses. Now, this is not the original list price. This is what the house is currently priced at. So if somebody prices a house at $100,000, let's say, which doesn't happen anymore, maybe in Southern Ohio, maybe, right? But if they if a house is 100 grand, let's say, and originally when it hits the market and they drop it to 95,000, then somebody gives them 95,000, this metric would say they got 100% of asking price, but they had to drop their original list price to get to that asking price. So it's a little deceiving. All right, metro level highlights. This is for the top 50 most populous U.S. metros in the United States. You've got Newark, New Jersey, Anaheim, California, Nassau County, New York, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. All three of those, I'm sorry, all five of those represent the areas that grew the most in prices. So you can see how much they're up. These cities, except for Milwaukee, although Detroit usually is on this list, but the first four are almost always on this list. Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Portland, Oregon. I think that's the exact same list as last week that made the year-over-year list with the biggest price declines. Pending sales, San Jose, Columbus, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Anaheim, California, Los Angeles, California, all grew the most in pending sales. So houses actually going into contract. And I can tell you in Columbus, there is obviously an increase in inventory like there is in many other areas across the U.S., but people are ready to buy in Columbus. And if an affordable house hits the market, heck, even if an expensive house hits the market that is priced right or even near correct, people are buying it. And if it's an affordable house, even not priced correctly, people are still buying it with multiple offers. I'm helping a couple buyers right now, and they're looking at multiple offers. So we are losing to people putting in, you've got sellers getting 10, 12, 15 offers, over asking, cash, no inspection. That's still alive and well, folks, in certain markets. All right, Houston, West Palm Beach, Miami, New Brunswick, and Atlanta all saw the biggest year-over-year decrease in pending sales. New listings, houses actually hitting the market for the first time. You've got San Jose, Phoenix, San Diego, Miami, Seattle, all had the largest increase. Look at San Jose, 44% increase in new listings in San Jose. Wow. And then pending sales, they're up 13%. So it's active in San Jose. There's no doubt. Chicago, Minneapolis, Atlanta, Newark, New Jersey, and Portland, Oregon all saw the largest decreases in new listings. All right, let's look at the charts briefly. And then we'll get to Columbus. And then if anybody's actually joining me today, I'll get to any comments. All right, median sale price. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that want to pretend that this is wrong or the data is corrupted, it's evil. Somehow there's a big conspiracy against the data in Redfin. Maybe they are trying to goat the United States housing market and trying to, dismantle our information systems. But nonetheless, according to this metric, median sale price is up 4.8% year over year. Comment below, are you one of the people that think that Redfin is manipulating the housing market? I'm just not going to comment on how crazy that is. All right. Median asking price, 5.5% year over year. So according to this chart, and it depends on if you want the housing market to crash or not. If you want it to crash, showing this coming down is a good thing. If you're a real estate agent, hopefully you don't care what this does, because there are always people looking to buy and sell if you market yourself right. So median asking price, though, is coming down. That would tell us that eventually median price would come down, theoretically. We'll see if that happens. Home buyer housing payments up 7.8% year over year. So housing payments are definitely high. They're not the highest they've been. They've come down a little. You can see by this chart. Pending sales down 4% year over year. Yeah, the lowest level, certainly. Look at all these other years. So if you're in the business, title, agent, inspector, any of that stuff, involved in transactional, being paid on transactions, you are hurting. Probably. All right. New listings of homes up 8% year over year. new listings of homes, up 8% year over year. So certainly up, but not even close to 2022 and 2021. So we're more than last year, but well below the previous 2 years. So do you think new listings are going to explode in the wintertime? So as we finish out summer, head to fall and winter, I don't think they will. I mean, you could see every year they come down in the winter. So new listings will probably be more depressed, and that just hurts the inventory out there. Active listings. So active listings, look how that's elevated compared to the last couple of years. We're up 16%. But again, I ask you, are they affordable homes? Nobody has commented yet or told me. And I don't hear anybody mentioning this on other channels too. Like they're walking past homes in their neighborhood that are amazing homes, ready to move into, and people are like, nope, just got nobody, you know, the house just sits there on the market. I'm not hearing that. But tell me if that's happening in your area. I challenge you to tell me that. 3.2 months of supply available on the market. Again, homes that nobody wants, probably so. Unfortunately, that metric is kind of useless. 42% of pending sales under contract within 2 weeks. That's down. So homes, again, compared to the other years, no doubt we're seeing homes sit longer. And that metric is here too. Homes sold in a median of 31 days. %32 of homes sold above final list price. Again, that's not the original list price. Much different. If somebody cuts their price and then gets the price they're asking for the home after they've cut, then that would be considered 100%, although they did have to cut the price. 6.6% of listings had price drops. I mean, that's huge compared to the last couple of years. Look at that. They're saying that's slowing. I don't see on the chart that it's slowing. Oh, no, they said the asking price is slowing. My fault. Price drops are accelerating. My bad. Average home sold for 99.7% of list price. So basically near 100% of list price, but certainly down compared to the last few years. I mean, look at that. Back in 2022, people were getting 102% of the asking price. Redfin home buyer demand index, obviously way down 17% year over year. People aren't as excited about the housing market. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. All right, let's now go to the Redfin data center and take a look at Columbus, Ohio. And then we're going to look at a couple other markets too. I'm in Arizona, so I'm going to look at Phoenix, and I'm going to look at Flagstaff too. I'm just kind of curious as to what's happening. All right, and I'm in a funky location now with some strange Wi-Fi access. So I'm going to try to switch to this other screen. It may not work. I may get hung up here and have to end the stream, but we're going to try. Hey, it worked. All right. So this is the data center from Redfin. This basically shows us various markets, and you can, look at really almost any market you want to. Let me go to housing data. All right. So let me first do Columbus. I always do that. And if you have a market you want me to analyze on my next stream, comment below, let me know. And I'm happy to analyze it. All right, so this is Columbus, Ohio. And, well, yeah, let's start with new listings. That's where it begins. Up 3.5% year over year, which is good. At least we're up. We're not up as much as national numbers at 7.5%, 7.8%. So a little more inventory as far as new listings. Let's look at active inventory. Active listings. I mean, look at this. We're up 13% year over year. Pretty good, right? But I can tell you, first off, that's down compared to the national number at 16% growth. So Columbus is still a little suppressed with active listings, but that's starting to level off already. So we had some growth during the spring, but not a lot. And now, if I look at median sale price, it's just sad. $350,000. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insanity. Like up 4% year over year. So every week, Columbus just increases. increases. I mean, you can look at it, the chart, and see it. There's the previous year, or the current year never goes under the previous year. So it's gone up and up and up and up. And I don't see this slowing down at all in Columbus, because there's no inventory of great homes, move-in ready in good neighborhoods. It just doesn't happen. Plenty of homes to put money into, but not a lot that you can move into, right off the bat. All right, houses sold. So we saw that. Well, let me do pending listings first in Columbus. So pending sales is actually up near 6%, and that's encouraging. There's a little more activity because new listings are up, active inventory is up, so pending sales are up a little bit. The strange part is nationally, pending sales are down. So you got markets like Columbus where pending sales are up. Then you have markets where pending sales are down a lot. And that would tell me there are definitely markets that probably will see some price declines coming up, if they're not already. There's not a lot right now. There's only like 6 or 7 markets nationally that are down year over year in prices, if you look at the top 50 markets or so. All right, now let's look at homes sold. So for this is actually up 1.5% year over year. So there are more homes closing in Columbus. That's a good thing. If you need churn in order to stimulate some price discovery and whatnot. And then we just look at months of supply. Months of supply, 9.3 weeks of supply, which is just over 2 months of supply. It's still a strong seller's market in Columbus, no doubt. All right, let's look at some other markets, though. Let's look at Phoenix. I'm in Arizona on vacation, so I'm curious about Phoenix. And then we'll do Flagstaff. Actually, I'm in Flagstaff now, but I'm headed to Phoenix. All right, let's look at, we'll just start with months of supply. Look at that. Months of supply, 13.9 weeks of supply. That's still, 312? That's still, it's just over 3 months of supply, right? Up certainly compared to the last couple of years. Let's look at active listings. Oof, look at that. Active listings are up 29% year over year in Phoenix. But it's starting to head down already. Look at this. Back in 2022, look at active listings went straight up in a time when they usually go down. All right, let's look at new listings. Number of new listings hitting the market up 23% year over year for Phoenix. Wow. Definitely more inventory. All right, now, pending sales. Are homes actually starting to sell more? Down 6% year over year. So Phoenix has a huge explosion of inventory, it looks like. Now, the question is, did prices go down? Let's look at median sale price. Well, look at that. Median sale price is still up 3% year over year. $466,000 is the median sale price in Phoenix. It's definitely lower than 2022. So prices have come down since 2022, but they're up from 2023. Always interesting to look at these different markets. Amazing. All right, let's look at asking price. I'm curious what asking price is. They actually don't have that on here as an easy metric. They have new listing median price. I always forget that. All right, that's 2.81% up, new listing median price. So the amount that people are actually listing their home for when it hits the market. So people are asking more in Phoenix than they did last year, no doubt. And the year before, and the year before, and the year before. Huh. All right, let's do Flagstaff. I'm really curious. I think in general, my opinion is Flagstaff's expensive. It feels expensive. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a beautiful city. I'm really curious about prices. Median sale price in Flagstaff. I mean, look at this up and down. Holy Toledo. All right, let's remove 21 and 22 and see what we find. A little easier to look at. Maybe. Geez, look at this. Median sale price in Flagstaff, 658 grand. Median sale price, by the way. Up 6% year over year, but look at the up and down. Man, it spiked all the way up to 705 grand median sale price. But I'm thinking there's just not a lot of new listings, and I think an inventory or sales, and that's why the market goes like this instead of a smoother line. Yeah, new listings, 63 new listings. Can that be right? Do you live, if you're an agent in Flagstaff, let me know. There's only 63 new listings for 4 weeks. That's like nothing. Jeez. Let's do active listings. Wow, look at that. Up 21% year over year active listings. And this time last year, there were 434 active listings. Now there's 527 active listings. Let's look at pending sales. Did we do this one already? Pending sales down 14% year over year. Only 41 pending sales. Man, if you're an agent in Flagstaff, I'd love to know. Or in Arizona, like what's up with Flagstaff? I mean, it looks like there's hardly any inventory, although it is up. Pending sales are not great, and median sale price is up as well. Months of supply. Let's look at this. Will be interesting. Wow, look at that shot straight up. 18 weeks of supply, which is what? What's that? 4.5 months of supply. So they're definitely like in a balanced market, supposedly. There's a house down the street for sale here where I am in this little neighborhood. I may go check it out. I think it's, I'm not going to go in, but maybe I'll go past it and kind of look at the price and see what you get for your money out here. Wow. Yeah, I don't know how somebody invests. Like we're staying in a quad, a 4-unit building that's ranched, brick, nice little units, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, very small. But I'm wondering how people cash flow out here because I know what we're paying a night. I don't see how it can cash flow, but that's just me. Okay, that's Flagstaff. You know what? The other location I want to look at, I want to look at Houston, Texas. All right, Houston, Texas. Active listings in Houston up 24% year over year. Look how many active listings, 28,000 active listings. But I'm sure they're manipulating that data, right, guys? And hiding it from us. There's probably more like 100,000 active listings. No, just kidding. I don't think they're manipulating the data that much, honestly. That's just my opinion. But active listings are up a ton. Let's do months of supply. Wow, months of supply, 16 weeks of supply, which is like 4 months of supply, right? So almost a balanced market. Let's do median sale price in Houston. Ah, look at that. So median sale price is pretty interesting. It's at $349,000. So what's startling is Columbus, Ohio now exceeds Houston for median sale price. Columbus is at 350 where I live, 350 grand. Houston, which is like 50 times larger than Columbus, it feels like, $349,000. There's some cheap property out there in Houston. Comment below if you live in Houston or you know someone who lives in Houston. I want to know, are they finding deals? I'm not talking about like on the MLS, like, hey, I found a deal. It's priced per square foot underneath like 2021 values. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people actually purchasing homes, like pulling the trigger, buying a home that maybe needs work, or maybe it's move-in ready, and realizing a massive equity gain, right? They move in, they already have a ton of equity, the house will cash flow, and they paid under asking. I want to know, is that happening in Houston? I'd love to know. And if you're buying investment properties there, I'd love to understand that too. Is that working? Is it starting to come down to the point that there's sales all over the place and you're falling over opportunities and you can't, you have to beat them away from your face? There's so many deals out there. Or is it more like, well, there's a lot of expensive homes for sale and homes that are jacked up that need, $100,000 in work? Well, that's the way real estate is, right? Yeah, active listings is just insane out there. We did months of supply. Let's do average sale to list ratio. Maybe interesting. Look at this. I mean, it's down compared to all the other years, but it's about historical, or it's about national average, 97%. So sellers are getting about 97% of what they're asking for the house. Okay, so that's Houston. So we know Houston median sale price is up compared to last year, right? But down compared to 2022. And they definitely have more inventory, no doubt. And now we know Columbus is more expensive than Houston. Holy cow. All right, one more metro. I'm on a roll. So I'm doing one more metro, guys. One more. What should I do? Anybody? What should I do for a metro here? Let's see. I was just in Las Vegas. That's where we started our trip, was Las Vegas. By the way, Las Vegas is freaking expensive as all heck. If you're coming in to visit and you're staying, I know this is cheesy if you live there, but if you're staying in a hotel on the Strip, we stayed at the Vdara. I like that hotel a lot because it's not a casino. And I'm also a Marriott guy, so that's they're tied into Marriott, but so I could use my points. But Vegas is like, the food is so expensive. Like, you're not going to escape for lunch with a family of 3, or if a group of 4, you're not going to escape under $50 for lunch. You're not going to escape under $50 for breakfast. I mean, heck, we were spending like $100 at breakfast. In a couple of days, we spent $200 at breakfast. So it's like, food out there is insane. And if you want to do anything, it's insane. The roller coaster to ride one time is $25. Anyway, enough. But Vegas is crazy expensive for the food and just things to do. All right. So average sale to list price ratio in Vegas, 98%. Wow. So they're getting 98%. That's down a little bit compared to the national average at 99.7. But I'm really curious about is the listings. So let me do new listings first. New listings up 12% year over year, 835 new listings for the 4 weeks. So more than last year, but definitely less new listings than 2021 or 2022 in Vegas. All right, now let's look for active listings. Wow, look at this. So up slightly, 4.5% year over year, 4.5%, but down from 2022. I mean, when I was traveling around Vegas in our rental car, I was shocked at how many large subdivisions are still out there and they're building. So there's definitely, there's definitely housing developments going up and people building houses. And it just seems like there's a lot of area to build houses. But a lot of people are saying new construction, when we have a ton of new construction, prices will come down. So let's find out. And there's a ton of new construction in Vegas. I know a lot of people thought Las Vegas would crash. I have no idea where, I have no idea where prices are, but look at that. In Las Vegas, median sale price up 9%. Let me just double check all this to make sure that's right. I can't believe it, but it's right. Up 9% year over year in Las Vegas, now $466,000. So the crash that was supposed to happen in Vegas has not happened. If you're in Las Vegas, I'd love to know what's happening with the inventory there. Seems like there's a lot of new homes, but a lot of people must be buying those homes because the median price continues to go up. Oh, that was new listing median price. Oh, this is median sale price. My bad. $446,000 median sale price. The new listing median sale price was $466,000. My fault. So it's actually still up 8% year over year, but down, what's that? Down 25% since 2022. Is that what I'm seeing? But up 8% year over year. So yeah, now it looks like prices are going back up. All right, let's look at months of supply in Vegas. Wow, look at this. 11 weeks of supply, so a little over 2 months of supply. Or actually a little under, I guess you could say under 3 months of supply. But yeah, that's hasn't shot up to the moon. So it's not like there's a ton of excess inventory. At least it doesn't look like in Vegas. Huh. Interesting stuff. Wow. Yeah, I think most people thought Phoenix, Vegas, Inland Empire, California would lead the housing market crash. But that hasn't happened. That hasn't at all. It's more of the Sunbelt states and Texas, really. It seems like where the most pain is right now, and parts of Florida, no doubt. All right, so let's do this. And oh, I got a comment. If you get a chance, either during, there's a comment. You get a chance either during or after the live, check out Lake Havasu, Arizona on Redfin monthly data chart. What? Let's do it now, Coors Light. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. We were going to go to Lake Havasu, actually. That was a stop we were going to make on this trip with my family, but we decided not to. And we just cut it short. So let's look at this on the monthly chart. Oh, monthly chart. Monthly chart. This is different. All right, so Lake Havasu. Coors Light 32 wants me to look at the monthly chart, which is not the weekly chart. Look at this, Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu, Arizona. I'll do the metro area, I guess. Bear with me, guys. Let me just. All right, this is Lake Havasu's monthly chart. This goes all the way back to 2012, actually. So what in particular do you want me to look at on this, Coors Light? Oh, use the weekly, you're saying. God, you got me all mixed up. Well, what is there a specific, Coors Light, is there a specific metric you want me to look at? Or is there something you saw that you were like, wow? Sale prices. Okay. All right. Well, here's the median sale price for monthly. They're saying the median sale price, according to Redfin, for the monthly data is $375,000. That seems like a deal out there. I got to think people were paying insane prices during they're at $389 at one point, $389,000. Wow. Look back in 2013, $370,000. Man, look at that. It spiked to $370,000 in 2013. They're like barely over 2013 prices right now. Yikes. Jeez. That's really, I don't think there's many areas in the United States like that. When you look at a 10-year chart, most places are up, I think. Let me look at the weekly data for Lake Havasu and see what happens. So the top is weekly data. The bottom is monthly data. This is pretty close to the same number, 371. Surprising. So up year over year, 1%, $371,000 for Lake Havasu City, Arizona metro area. But the weekly data, unfortunately, doesn't go back to 2012. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Let's look at new listings. Wow, new listings. Look at that. They're only up 6.5% year over year. Only 99 new listings in the area for the 4 weeks. Active listings up 27% year over year. Do you live out there? I know you live in California, right? Or do you own a property out there in Lake Havasu? I'm curious, Coors Light. Wow. So definitely a lot more inventory. Age of inventory. Let's look at that. How long stuff sitting on the market? 55 days. Man. That's some inventory there. You've got inventory sitting. Actually, it's down. The number of days are down compared to last year. Last year it got up to, look at that, 92 days. I don't want to invest in Arizona. I'm not really interested in that, but that's an area that there could be opportunity there at some point. I definitely watch that days on market. You visited. Yeah, I've never been there. Yeah, I've never been there. But thanks for that. Thanks for asking me to do that. It's always interesting to look at other markets. I appreciate that input. All right. So what does all this mean if you're looking for a house? Somebody asked me to explain this at the end of the live. If you're a buyer, seller, or investor. So if you are let's just start with a seller. If you're selling your house right now in the market, you have to dial in that entry level price. The price point that you list a house for is paramount to the success of your listing. So and this is really hard to do, but you have to take your emotion out of just like buying a house, but even more so in a way selling the house, because everybody thinks the property that they own is worth more than it is, generally speaking. And everybody thinks the property they're going to buy should be lower than the list price or the sticker price, right? But the difference is when you buy a house and you make a low offer, nothing really happens. However, if you are selling a house and you list the house too high out of the gate, right when it enters the market, then it can actually cause you to have a lower final sale price than if you started lower from the beginning. A lot of people think I'll start high and just work my way down. But that's not how it works like psychologically for most buyers and sellers. How it works is you put the house on the market too high, and buyers then will see that it's too high. You won't get any activity or little activity on it. And then you end up having to drop the price. And when a buyer sees a price drop, what happens? They go, that person dropped their price because they couldn't sell the house. So maybe they're willing to deal. So then they come in lower than where your list price is, your new list price, and now you're even lower. Instead of just entering the market at a good price and a price that makes sense, if you enter too high, you're doomed in a normal market. And that's what we're in right now. Right? We're starting to head to more of a normal market than we've been in, where houses actually sit for some time. So if you're selling a house, make sure that it's clean, make sure that you have good lighting, make sure that it's decluttered. Those three things cost very little: decluttering, lighting, and cleaning. If you can do those three things outside and in, then that significantly helps your chances of selling the property. As a buyer for the property, if you're looking if you're just wanting to buy a home for your family, then really consider putting money into a fixer-upper. So don't compromise location. Don't compromise the layout of the house. Like if it's a brick ranch house and you're like, well, I can't really add anything to the house. If you live in a market where the houses are really close together and there's zoning where you can't expand the house or really make changes to it, then make sure the footprint is what you want. But if the inside just needs cosmetics, even mechanicals like heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, don't be afraid of that stuff, and run away from any agent or anybody on YouTube telling you that stuff's like impossible to tackle. In fact, I would say go after that stuff. Go find a location, find some properties that are jacked up, right? That need help. And as long as it's in a good location for you and the area makes sense because you can't move the location, then go after it. Be aggressive. Put a deal together that makes sense for you and your family, and be patient. You got to have patience. But do not shy away from foreclosures. Do not shy away from short sales. There aren't a lot of those right now, but don't shy away from houses that just are beat up and need a lot of work. In general, in my opinion, that's where all the equity is. And that's what a lot of people aren't willing to do. They want the stainless steel appliances and the no smell in the house. And by the way, if you walk in and it smells, that's money. Meaning that's money you can get off the house, because houses that smell are hard to sell. They just are. So if you tell the seller, man, your house stinks, I'm going to have to rip out the carpets, the drywall, repaint everything, put in new subflooring, paint everything with kills, redo all the ductwork in the HVAC because there's raccoon pee all over those things. Then, there's a discount for that. So ask for a discount. Don't be afraid of that. So as a buyer, I would look for houses right now sitting on the market longer than what they are averaging in your area. So if the average days on market's 30 days, look for homes that are hitting 60 days, make some offers that make sense, even disrespectful offers. When I say make sense for you as a buyer, and then go after those and have some, know that you're getting a house that you can add equity to and come out on top, versus overpaying for a house that's completely done and ready to move into. So along those lines, real quick, I do have a video coming up with a viewer, Raymond, who has basically house hacked in Ohio and built a tremendous amount of equity in a couple deals. And he's basically been doing exactly what a lot of people are not willing to do, but he's a homeowner and he's done so with very little debt. So it's that video is actually coming out in the next few days. Raymond's been waiting on it to come out. I've just been tardy posting it because of my schedule. So anyway, that's coming out. I encourage you to watch that because he talks about how he put the sweat equity into the property. And lastly, if you're an investor in this market, you have to have multiple exit strategies. And you have to be willing, above all else, to be super, super patient because of the debt rates the way they are, and because of tax increases, property tax increases, and insurance increases, and the cost of renovation right now. You've got to plan for the worst, the absolute worst, and then base your decisions on that. So if you look at in other words, what I say is don't torture the spreadsheet. Don't torture the numbers at all. You want to calculate in every possible cost that you would incur when you're flipping a house or putting tenants in a house and redoing it. So, there's always gremlins in a house when you flip it or when you redo it, right? You may not have seen the crack in the foundation. Now you got to fix that. And that's 10 grand or something, right? Oops. So build in enough quick cushion and be patient and only do great deals, only go after great deals, but look at a lot of deals. That's what I'm doing anyway. And so as an investor, I think the patience, planning for the worst, and having multiple exit strategies. So if you're doing Airbnb, make sure it'll cash flow as a long-term rental. Make sure you can flip it or get out of it if you need to. And make sure your finances are set up so if you can't get the cash flow for a few months, you have the reserves ready to use for that. You don't want to have to go into a situation where you're not making your mortgage payment as an investor. That's just crazy, right? It's not even your house. It's an investment house. And now you're going to ruin your financial future because of an investment house. So make sure you have reserves to make those payments. And probably the last thing as an investor, do not anticipate rent increases. Basically, build in a 1%, a 2% rent increase. Don't build in a 5, 10, 15% rent increase year over year. You'll get slaughtered. So the days of just jacking rent up 50% on somebody across your portfolio are over, and you have to be a lot smarter. Those are my pieces for advice. If you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate, that's how I would approach it. But I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a realtor and investor in Ohio. So take that for a grain of salt as far as what I'm saying. All right, enough of that. Thank you for joining me this morning. Amazing day in Flagstaff. We're going to go out, hit the gondola, or is it gondola? I'm not sure which one it is. We're going to hit one of those and go up on the snowball and check that out because that looks pretty sweet. Good views and everything. And it's, like I said, a nice day in Flagstaff. So have a great day. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you on the next live Redfin update next week. I'm out.